Welcome to the Land Your Bet Sports Betting Show. Got one playoff game here on Thursday as it's game 6 back in Denver. Nuggets are hosting the Thunder down 3-2. Going to see if they can keep this thing going. Spoiler alert, I do think they keep this thing going. I already hit their money line, so there's a freebie off the top if you guys want it. Definitely make sure to subscribe to that channel. Going to keep going with videos for each and every one of these games in the playoffs as much as we can. Also going to have a live show here on Thursday for this game, so hope to see you guys there early afternoon on the East Coast here, late morning, early afternoon as well on the West Coast. So hope to see you guys in that one. We're going to get into player matchups, insights, everything you need to get those bets down here for this game on Thursday night. So go ahead and give this video a like. Let's get right into it. But let's get into these game 6 notes and start with game 5, where we saw the 3-point line disparity really added up. Now, the thing was Denver shot 28%, OKC 41% from 3, but OKC just shot way fewer of them, got better looks, especially in that fourth quarter, second game in a row that they won the fourth quarter and were able to beat Denver down the stretch. If you look at Jokic, really comes down to the shooting for him. He's not really getting assists out of the double teams and often triple teams that they bring him. So it's really going to be about him making shots. 59% from the field in games 1 through 5, games 1 and 5, games 2 through 4, 33% from the field. Not going to do it. Also, X Factor. Told you this, guys, about game 1 when this series started that I thought playoff Aaron Gordon was going to be the guy that they needed to step up. Well, in this in the playoffs as a whole, when Gordon has scored 20+ points this playoffs, they are 5-0. When he has scored fewer than 20 points, they are 1-6. That's really just how it's going to go. So I think there's probably some correlation between him to score 20 and this money line for Denver, both some pretty nice plus money odds. Not too much to talk about here with the matchups as they have not changed. Continue to see Michael Porter Jr. out there for about 30 minutes, just starting with him. I put that asterisk there because he's been in trouble a lot. Chet has not necessarily taken advantage of this too often on offense, but Porter Jr. has not done much as we've seen Aaron Gordon guarding Jalen Williams, right? And that has really limited J-Dub, who we'll talk about here when we jump into these player props in 1 second. And then Christian Brown at the top, just looking at how he's done on SGA. It's a good job, honestly. He's gotten a ton of help. And I think we're going to continue to see SGA get a lot more potential assists. He's averaging damn near 20 in this series alone because of the extra help that they're bringing to help out Christian Brown. So they're going to keep doubling SGA when he gets too close to the rim, that's for sure. And then other than that, things are going to be pretty straight up for this defense. Other side of the ball is all pretty much straight up, other than everybody has to know where Jokic is and not let him get to his spots. Right now, unfortunately for the defense, he's got a ton of spots, but he's missed shots too. And that's a big reason why this series is at 3-2. I can't really give, I can give plenty of credit to OKC, but we have to make that clear that if Jokic hits some shots that are decent looks for him, then this Denver team might be up 3-2 rather than down 2-3. As we jump into these player props, going to go down the line, tell you some thoughts about each guy, some bets that I'm looking at, some guys probably going to be staying away from, but always going to be using Props Madness. So if you do want to jump in on this platform, #1 sports betting research tool for all things props in the NBA and the WNBA, as we're about to get into the ladies' games here real soon. But if you want to jump in for a free trial for 7 days, use code LYB, see if you like it before you make any of the monthly purchases, and then that'll also get you 25% off your first month with that code. So jumping into it, though, like I said, going to go down the line. Here's my thing with Jokic. It's so high at this point, man. You really got to just bank on him having an incredible game. And while I don't want to fade him, and I'm not going to go under on any of these props, 28.5 points, 14.5 rebounds for this man. We're getting to pretty astronomical territory here. He just had 15 rebounds on 25 chances. That's great, but still under in most of the games, still under in 2 of 5, has gone over in 3 of 5. Not enough of a play there. 14.5 is such a large total for him. I can't get there with it. Same with the points. And the assists are the only thing that I see value on at 7.5. This is a 9-10 assist guy per game. In the playoffs, it comes down to 8.7 this season, this postseason, but it's mostly this series, obviously, where he's gone under consistently in each of these first 5 playoff games. Potential assists down to 14.8, where he's normally at 16.5. And things just lock up a lot, right? Assists are harder to come by in the playoffs when you need to depend on other guys to take shots, and it's do or die situation, especially for Denver. So the guys might tighten up a bit. I don't necessarily want to bank on the dimes either, so Nikola is going to be a stay away for me. For Jamal Murray, I do like the points, but it feels fishy. Now, the fact that they're at home in an elimination game, gonna like that for Jamal, right? He's been in some pretty big elimination games in his career and has some pretty nice numbers. In 10 games in his career where his team faces the possibility of getting eliminated from the playoffs, he's at 29 points, 5.5 dimes, 5 boards, shooting 49.5% from the field and 43% from deep. So I would say he's a pretty clutch performer in these elimination games. I would say that this is a good over for him at 21.5 points. It's a tough matchup. I mean, if you look at him head to head on the season in these playoffs, specifically in the playoffs, under in 3 of 5. If you look at him on the season, under in 3 of 8, right? Or excuse me, only over in 3 of 8. So he's consistently going under against his team, which makes sense. This is one of the best defenses we've seen in recent memory. At the same time, elimination Jamal Murray, don't want to fade him. Would be going over before I went under, but he's also probably going to be a stay away from me. Aaron Gordon starts to pique my interest on some of his props here. Now, last game we went rebounds and we went threes over for him at these numbers too, 1.5 and 6.5 for the boards. Starting with the rebounds though, 6.5, he had 5 last game on just 8 rebound chances. That scares you a bit, but I think we still got to go back to it. 6.5 is high in general for him, but this has been a dude who has gotten boards against this team on the regular, right? This season over in 4 of 7. The unders, one game he played 7 minutes. This game 2 played 27 minutes because they got smacked, as we know. And then in each of these other 2 games, big rebound chances, had one bad game. Now, I'm not really, when I look at the rebounds and I look at the way that he was guarded by mostly Jalen Williams on the other team, not much changed. So I'm chalking that one up as actually more of an anomaly than the other ones. I still like over on the rebounds for him. The threes, we got even money on this in the last game to take him to get 2, and he's taking almost 6 per game. He went 1 for 5. I think 5 is an accurate projection for the amount of attempts he's going to take. And as I always talk about when it comes to threes, I need to know, is it reasonable for him to hit 2 for 5? Well, 2 for 5 is about 40%. That's not something that it's exactly 40%. That's not something that I want to bank on at these odds. If you were giving me plus 110, plus 120 in that range for Aaron Gordon to get 2 threes on about 5, maybe 6 attempts, then I'd feel a lot better about this. It's really going to come down to me, the points. I'm going to probably be betting on the rebounds. I also think it's worth it at the very least to take a sprinkle on 20 plus points for Aaron Gordon. As I told you, when he goes for 20 plus these playoffs, they're 5-0. When he doesn't, they're 1-6. So if there's pretty nice correlation with him hitting 20 plus and them winning, if you take an alt, right, and take him for 20 plus points at about plus 200, parlay that with the Denver money line right there, plus 435 is what you're going to come out with, maybe close to plus 500 on some of these books. So I think Aaron Gordon to get 20 plus, sprinkle, not putting a full unit on plus 435, maybe a half a unit on him to get that little parlay with them to win and him to get 20 plus. And then as its own bet, I do think the rebounds are a good look. 7, maybe a little ladder up to 8 plus for him in this game as well. I also like some stuff for Christian Braun here, mostly for him with the threes. We are getting some pretty good numbers here. Plus 110 on MGM. This is the type of stuff I would hit for Aaron Gordon. In fact, Christian Braun's actually taking more threes, though, against this team in this series. If you look at him in the playoffs in this series here, first 2 games, 1 for 4. Don't love him to have to hit 2 of 4, obviously, and then 1 for 4 in this game. Since then, 2 for 6, 2 for 9, 2 for 8. If he's taking 6, I'm getting plus money or even money for him to make 2 of them. That's 33%, right? On the season, I want to double check what he was in the regular season when it comes to 3-point percentage. He shot only 3.1 attempts on the regular season, making 1.1, so about 35%. If he needs to make 2 of 6 at 33%. I like that for plus money based on his averages and how good of a 3-point shooter and the volume that he is. What about Russ? Because in the last game for Russ, we took him to get 10 plus points. We also took under on the rebounds and assists. This was the first game in this postseason here, if we look at the last game, where he actually got 7 rebounds and assists against the Thunder. In the first 4 games, 4, 6, 5, and 4. And if you look at the playoffs as a whole, under pretty consistently, right, in the rebounds and assists, averaging here in the playoffs 6.5. This is low now. We try to go under 7.5 rebounds and assists with the 10 plus points in the last game. I think we just go for the points now. I think Russ does have a comeback game. The thing about Russ was he played 20 minutes, and if he doesn't have it going, yes, he's going to probably have a short leash at times, especially in these elimination games. If he's doing dumb stuff, then we're a little bit worried about Russ. But I do think there's a redemption game in him, and this would be the one. So once we get to 9.5 points or so, now we're talking about beatable numbers. He still took 7 shots in 20 minutes in this last game. Get him to 25, 26, probably takes 3 more shots. Could still have gotten to the 10 points, even though he only had 4 in this one. 0 for 3 from deep. Definitely been cold in these last 3 games, but I still think there's a bounce back for him before they get eliminated. So I think I'm probably going to be going with some points for Russ on the overs in game 6. Jumping down to the Thunder now. I'm talking about SGA, and I do think there's a bet I like more than any of them. Points, 30.5. Not too high if you like it. It's a little bit close. I do think Denver wins this game, so I'm a little bit hesitant to take too many overs for guys on the Thunder. Assists, 7.5. It's crazy how many potential assists he has in this series right now, averaging 18.6 per game. As I talked about at the top, they double the crap out of him, try to force the ball out of his hands before he can get to his little midi. But he's still not getting dimes on these potentials. 18.5 potentials to just average 7.2 in this series. That's pretty cold. Like, you would think it would get higher, but I don't want to have to take I don't want to have to take his teammates to make that many shots off of his passes, right? In an elimination game on the road, those are two situations that I'm not feeling as confident in role players as I am in the stars. But rebounds is still a beatable number for us. I think even if this team loses, even if, they're doubling shy, like, the rebounds based on where he's at on defense are still a good look. He's over in 4 of 5. He's averaging nearly 8 in this series. And the key for me is the rebound chances. They're at 14. That's up from 9 in the regular season. 5 more rebound chances per game versus the Nuggets in this playoff series right here. If you look at them on the season, still averaging 6.6 against them, over in 6 of 9. Nice. So what we like here is the rebound chances. 11.4 total on the season. But again, you dumb this down to the playoffs. He's guarding Christian Brown a lot, right? He's guarding guys off the ball. He's not really put on Jamal Murray or Nikola Jokic, who are the two guys with the most on-ball touches by far for this Nuggets team. So if he's guarding off-ball guys consistently, he's able to box out and go get boards rather than focus on having to defend his guy one-on-one. So I still think the rebounds are the best look for him in a game 6, where I don't think that they are going to come away with the win. I still like fading J-Dub. Look at his numbers here head-to-head in this series, and really look at this in general. My favorite play is under on the points. If you wanted to do an under on the PRA, I kind of think this might get to 31.5 on the PRA. This might get back up to 21.5. Yeah, there's not really many 21.5s yet. So some people seem to be believing in the same thing that I do, which is this is a tough matchup for him. Some people liked him coming into this series thinking he was going to have a decent time, but he's not guarded by Michael Porter Jr. He's guarded by Aaron Gordon. That's why these numbers are what they are in this series. Plain and simple. Now, there's been bad shooting. He's missed some open shots, but he's never been in this situation before where it's like such a pivotal game other than last year, but wasn't being guarded by Aaron Gordon. So he doesn't have a ton of experience. He's got basically the best defender on the other team locking him up. I'd be going under before I went over in a pivotal game, elimination game here for J-Dub. The other guy that I want to bet on, but I'm probably not going to be able to do it, is Lou Dort on the threes. We took his over for plus 150 for him to hit 3 in the last game. He went 4 for 8. Taking 8 attempts and giving me plus 140, I want to take the over, but I'm staying away from Lou Dort. Here's why. Look at the home road splits for this dude, right? If we go to home on the season, let me make sure I got all of the games in here. I would play like 50 at least at home. On the season, he's played 43 games at home, hit 3 threes, and at least in 25 of 43, averaging 3 per game. And his 3-point attempts in this situation, to pull that up, are at, let me make sure I get this right, 6.8 at home, right? When he's on the road, everything goes down. Goes from 3 made threes down to, let me get this back onto the road. Get my road away stuff up, down to 1.6 threes on the road this season. Goes from 3 to 1.5, cuts it in half, right, on the road. The other thing here too, the attempts go down as well. Let me get back to those. If we look at 3-point attempts on the road, down to 5. So he's at about 7 attempts at home, 5 on the road, not the same shooter. There's always the possibility he loses minutes again, because he only got 27 again in the last game that they just won, right, at home. Played 27 minutes or 28 minutes, in that game. So there's a possibility he loses minutes to Caruso and Kayson Wallace. If he's not hitting early, then they take him out. He probably still takes about 8 because Denver leaves him open. But if there's a game 7, then we'll come back to betting on Lou Dort's over on threes because he's back at home. All right, don't forget, if you do want to jump into the VIP Discord, link is in the description of the video. Use code Davion, get yourself 50% off. Also going to be back with that live show here on Thursday, so hope to see you guys in there. And until I do, happy betting.